Most people think that the LinkedIn post flopped because of the algorithm or because they have very less followers or connections. But let me tell you a secret. It's usually because of the first 3 lines. Hi, I'm Varnika Pasari, founder of Tic Tactic, and today I'm here to tell you exactly how we write posts that get 20,000 plus impressions, 300 to 400 likes, and so many actual conversations. It's about a few simple, intentional choices that we make every day to create impact. If I can do it, you can do it too. So let me break it down. First up is the hook. Now the hook is the most critical part of your post. The hook is the first 2 or 3 lines of your post that comes before the see more button. Why is this important? Because this sets the tone of whether people are going to read your post or simply scroll past it. See, LinkedIn is a content-heavy platform. So if you do not capture people's attention in the first 2 lines of the post, people are not really going to bother reading it. So your hook needs to stop scrolls. It needs to be eye-catching, attention-grabbing, and it really needs to make people intrigued. What is this post about? Let me see more. Personally, I love starting with a relatable problem, a strong opinion, or a fact that completely blows my audience's mind. Some examples of a few other hooks that I like to use are bold claims, like here's how I went from 0 to 10k followers in just 3 months. Or a question, like why is personal branding not working for you? Or a surprising stat, that did you know only 7% of recruiters look at resumes anymore? The idea is to make them curious and keep them engaging. Now once you've got them hooked, it's time for your story. People connect with people and not a bullet point of achievements. So it's important to share and make your content relatable. Talk about your experiences, talk about your lessons, your successes and your failures. Whatever it is, make it yours. Now I often get asked, Varnika, is it okay to use AI? My response, of course it's okay to use AI. In fact, you should use AI. It's a great tool. It can help you build structure. It can give you ideas. But AI is just the bones. You have to make the post yours. You need to put the soul with your story. Take the idea from AI and change everything about the post, from the way it's written to the words that are used. Make sure that you write the post in the words and voices that are yours. People who know you offline should be able to connect with you online. They should not feel that this is not something that you would ever say. It has to be yours. Which brings me to my next point. Now I may sound a bit harsh, but nobody wants your advice on LinkedIn. Because guess what? When you open your LinkedIn feed, all that you can read are buzzwords, trend words and industry jargon. Tell me something honestly. Would you ever stop to read a post that gives you screaming advice on how you should be changing your career? No, right? But at the same time, if I just share my own experience, a career-changing experience, you might find inspiration and you might even relate to it. So it's important to avoid sounding overly smart. Keep your posts and conversations on LinkedIn simple. Keep them relatable and keep them clear. Think of it like speaking to a friend over coffee. Use simple language. Clarity wins over everything else. Also, if you do want to talk about complex ideas, try to simplify them and break it down for your audience. Chances are, most of the people that are following you do not know what you generally talk about. So this is your chance to make it easy for them to understand. I see a lot of posts from people who are trying to portray themselves as industry gurus and screaming their advice because they think that is what thought leadership is. People value your opinions and insights if it makes sense to them, not you. Okay, so now my next big secret is to use data, numbers, or frameworks to back up your thoughts. See, numbers have a way to stand out between words, and whenever you use numbers, people tend to believe what you're saying. If you're making a claim, it's important that you can back it up with some concrete evidence. For example, if I tell you right now that posts on LinkedIn which have numbers perform 30 times better than posts that do not have. You would tend to believe me, wouldn't you? A simple number tends to make a lot more impact than words ever will. Now, this does not mean that you need to scientifically study or start gathering data for every post that you want to share. You can back it up with your own experiences and your own case studies too. For example, if you worked on a project, you can reference that. Or if you've actually done work that has created numerical impact for a client, you can always use that data to support your posts. Let me give you an example. Instead of telling people that this is why this strategy works, start by saying, through this strategy, I converted 30% more leads for my top 2 clients. It's that simple. In all situations where you do not have numbers to back you up, your personal experiences and lessons serve as credibility sources. An anecdote from your personal life or a conversation with a friend, that too can build the credibility that you're looking for. Now let's talk about the visual layout of your post. Let me show you 2 posts. The one on my right had big chunky paragraphs with big words, and the one on my left had probably 10 lines broken down into single paragraphs. Tell me yourself, which one was more visually appealing for you? Because of the limited attention span that we have today, it's important to capture your audience's attention not just with words but the way you display your words. Posts which are packed with long sentences or written as one single big paragraph will rarely catch someone's eye. But posts which seem easy to read will make your readers want to read it. Use bullet points, emoticons, or any of these tools to beautify your posts. Trust me, it makes a lot of difference. Make your posts easy to scan and don't be afraid of white spaces. Just because LinkedIn gives you 3000 characters for a post does not mean that you have to use all of them. Of course, you need to make your point and add value, but how can you do it in the easiest and shortest way possible? That's the challenge you need to live up to. Here's a hack that you can use to simplify this. There are a lot of readily available LinkedIn templates already on the internet. All you need to do is Google this and you're going to come across a lot of different ways you can templatize your post. Try to use them when and if possible. Now this might sound very obvious, but please post about topics and themes that your audience cares about, not just you. So see, now you're trying to build a community, right? Your posts need to serve a purpose. They need to answer some specific pain points and provide solutions to your audience. Every time I write a post, I scan it and I think, how will this add value to my readers? What will they take away from it? Will they be able to relate to it, or will they get some action points that they can work on? Now when I say this, I do not mean that you need to give them advice directly, but I want to make sure that my content is creating some value for my readers. Only then will they keep coming back to read the content again and again. Before I even start writing, I often ask myself, who is this post for and what do I want them to take away? What is that one part of my post that I want them to remember? Or come back to me and tell me that I had read this and it really stayed with me. Finally, if you want your post to seem like conversations and not a one-way dialogue, you need to start thinking about adding CTA. A CTA is a call to action that leads your reader to take some action, which means that you want to end your post with something that makes them want to take the next step. The easiest and best CTA on LinkedIn are questions. Ask your readers, what do they think about this particular topic? Did they have any experiences similar to yours that they went through? Or if they have a relatable anecdote that they can share below. If your post is about an app or a book, you can ask your readers to recommend more such things. Or maybe just ask them to review something that you have used. The options are endless, but the aim and objective is one, to start and spark engagement and discussions. If you simply try to follow these 7 points, I assure you that writing content for LinkedIn will be as easy as it can be. Now I do want to tell you, there are a lot of other ways to create content that can get you results on LinkedIn. These are tried and tested things that have worked for me and for our clients. So try applying these principles to your next set of posts and do let me know how they work out for you. I'll be waiting for you in the comment section below. Also, if you have any tips that you think that I should be following, I would love to hear it.